talk during yoga. Black men get into yoga, especially high yoga. I be there. Holla at me if you need some health tips.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, we can do that actually. Hold on. I got some air. Yeah. Y'all can't hear them, but the air horns is going off. We got some air horns right there.
Come on.
So
Play Hood Rich yet? Play Hood Rich.
we already played that. The intro
damn.
is over.
My
The
bad.
intro is over.
Damn. My bad, y'all.
We're coming in hot. Welcome to another episode of the Souls of Liberty show. I'm Big Esco.
Tanel Winmore.
And today we have a guest, Ohun Ashe.
Yeah.
Make some noise for her, y'all. Make some noise for her, y'all. Yeah, y'all in here
Yeah,
too.
man, y'all could.
We're not talking to ourselves.
We're in the studio audience.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
out here.
Ohun, I just put your names together. Ohun, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We have a couple preliminary questions before we really get into who you really are. Our first question is, what high school did you go to?
I went to Jennings High School, J-Town.
Class of?
2008.
08, you know.
08, the great.
Shout out to 08.
Never been nothing better.
08.
Niggas always say,
This
I
our
like
second?
this was an 08 nigga.
Second 08 nigga this season.
08 was a legendary class.
08 was a good
though.
year.
Like,
I
for
said
real.
last episode.
We already gave 08 their praise. All right.
08
so,
got some of the most beautiful women from St. Louis went to 2008 high school and shit. Yeah. So we got that out
born in 89, 90. That was a good period right
89,
there.
November.
There you go.
Scorpio.
There you go.
You know, let's go.
So you were a Drake fan. No, I'm kidding. Okay,
No,
listen.
Absolutely not.
We're going to keep
Okay.
going. We're going to
I
keep
like
that
that.
loop
She
going.
left me hanging, but
All right.
we don't fuck with Drake over here like that.
You know.
Would you go emos or chop suey? Because we like to be politically correct.
I like that. Come on, politically
Or White
correct.
Castles. I put 3 in there.
Oh.
Oh, White Castle's at 35 is crazy.
Hey, it happens every day for people.
Happens every day for people.
So I have to admit this. I am new to the like emos wave. I was not like a huge emos fan growing up. So I really just started liking it. So I'm going to say emos now just because it's like new to my palate.
All right. So you really into food? Because we talked about that a little bit. Have you had the thicker crust emos before?
No.
See, we be
No.
So you sleep.
us Souls Liberty,
Didn't even
we
know.
change people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't be even knowing their own shit like
We
that.
are thick crust advocates when it
Thick
comes to
crust advocates.
emos.
It hit different. You can
Okay.
only get that large. You can only go to certain locations. Kind of like people go to Chicago and be like, I had some nasty hurls. You can't go on random
Can't
ass
go
outside.
random.
You know what I'm saying? You got to go to the ones that's the ones. So
Exactly. So you go to
yeah.
Hampton,
Okay.
get a large thick crust, whatever you like to put on there, report back.
my top
Report back.
4 right now. Hampton.
Okay.
Hampton not number 1 no more to me though.
Okay.
Delore. Niggas be sleeping
On
on,
the south
Delore
side.
on the south side.
Okay.
Morgan Ford got a decent one too.
Okay.
Forest Park.
Forest Park. Okay.
Right
Can't
now.
argue that.
Delmar. Delmar off of Delmar and Convention emos.
See,
Yes.
And they
I
black
don't
owned
like
too,
that
but-
one.
Y'all sleeping.
I like I like the one on 4th
And they
on
don't
Broadway.
and they don't do thicker crust.
And they don't do
It
thick
hit
crust.
different when y'all ain't read the emos Bible, but y'all want a nice looking emos.
That's our
Location is
gripe.
great.
That's our gripe. They
Location
don't do
is
thick
great.
crust.
Y'all
They
black,
don't
the
do
vibe
thick
is
crust.
great. You know what I'm saying? Keisha and them be in there, but
So we
God
had to hit the
damn it.
one Broadway. We had to go deep 4th
Deep,
Street. The 4th
okay.
Street one is the one for me downtown.
yeah.
And then that was a big one.
I'm glad you're not.
So you-
eating
so you
emos,
picked
though.
emos.
I picked
White
emos.
Castle.
Emos is okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we got to get
I
White
finally
Castles
had to
up.
get out of White Castles
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Nah.
It's tough.
Not me. So
You still doing White Castles?
yeah, like every blue moon. I might do a couple sliders every
It
2
was a time I
seasons.
lived
I
off White
mean,
Castles.
after a night outside, you only really got that as an option. So I
Yeah,
get that.
yeah.
But like as a regular choice, it's crazy.
Not as a regular choice.
Okay.
It'd be like,
Okay.
it's been 4 months. You know what? Today I want to eat a couple White Castles. Like, it's like that. It's not like every month or nothing like that. No. I can't do that either. I'm with you on that. Okay, so 314 just passed. It was a great 314 day. I had a good
I was
314 day.
outside.
Is that fap and that fap? Oh yeah, shout out to the Passport.
Yeah, shout out to, I had
shout
a
out
good
to
night
Brock.
leading into it for sure.
I have a party there called Just a Vibe.
It was definitely a vibe.
It's just a vibe. You know, we play the music.
It
Brock,
actually was more than a vibe. That might be the next one.
yeah, we
More than
played
a vibe.
music. You know what I'm
I like
saying?
Mark it there.
The Passport, on Wash Ave, support them. Black on Wine and Cocktail Bar. You know what I mean?
Beautiful black couple.
You know,
Power couple.
shout out to JV and Cage. You know, But yeah, then Friday I was chill. You know what I'm saying? I actually think I saw you you went to the concert.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw you with
Yeah.
Brittany and them outside. Yeah. I said hi. Yeah, I was like, but I wasn't 100% sure. I was a little high. I was like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, well,
Said the
who
cute
are
county
you?
girls.
Listen, it
My
was
bad.
a tornado
No,
coming.
yeah.
It was it was a lot happening.
How
that
was
day.
that? How was that show? The St. Louis night show. It was
Oh
30
my
and up, right?
gosh, Yeah.
How was that show?
Damn,
I feel like
ain't no
that was legendary. Like
Okay.
it was such like classic old school St. Louis energy. Because I think people forget that St. Louis was a staple and had an era where we were taking over the music industry.
Yeah.
And we
Facts.
saw it that night. And then you just got all your friends from that time or people you haven't seen in so long. And the setup, the quality of the event, the background, the vendors that they had there, like the shops and the way that they had it set up. It was a phenomenal event. Shout out to Morgan
Yeah, shout out
with
to
Date
Morgan, for sure.
Ideas for giving us something legendary. And I think that just talks to St. Louis as a whole. This is a legendary city.
Yeah, that's what's up. You know, that definitely is an era, you know, in our city that sometimes I feel like people criticize that people want to relive it and like bask in it, but it's like people
was
don't
tight,
get
though.
people
It
don't
was
get
tight.
tired of
It was
Motown.
tight.
I don't never get tired of Motown personally. You know what I'm saying? So
And also, we don't have.
Same.
It's like I do. My only gripe is I want to continue adding on to that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
That's what my gripe be in that. It's like I don't want to be stuck into. It's like we could still do the mono, but it's like we need some more dances and shit. We
Right.
need to, and maybe that's on the youth. Where y'all at? Y'all doing TikToks and shit.
right.
Do your own dance.
That's
you know what I'm
true.
saying? To quote a great St. Louis. You know what I'm saying?
Do your own
Do
dance.
your own dance. But yeah, man.
That was a good one right there.
I love the energy though from 314 Day. I love that we be coming together. I just wish that we would do that shit all year, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it don't gotta be 314 Day to not kill nobody. Like,
Right. That's
get some
real.
money. Let's let this shit go. All the old shit go. Let's move forward, bro, for these kids and shit.
Yeah.
So they
You-
can know something.
How was the tornado inside of the concert?
That was a wild experience.
I thought about y'all because I was downtown too at the Passport actually, and our phones started going off, and I was like, "Damn, all them at the concert."
I
I'm
was at
like,
the Fox when that happened, bro.
Yeah, like-
everybody
Yeah.
should start going off.
Yeah, like Pretty Willie just got on stage.
"Okay,
Setting the scene, everybody feeling all good and seductive. You know, he like Christ-like now. So we
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, he's back.
he like
He
Al
prayed before
Green.
y'all got into it. It was just
Al
everybody-
Green is like that now. That's what's up.
Say
Yeah.
hi, neighbor. Some shit.
And then next thing you know, it's like, skirt. Everybody got to sit down because we sheltering in place.
Wow.
Yes. So they had us go through the protocol and everything. So it was like a 30-minute pause between like when he first got on stage and then sheltering in place and then when the concert resumed.
Okay.
But when they resumed, oh, it was lit.
It was lit. Everybody was
lit.
like, "Okay,
Yeah.
we really here."
Because we just
Life or
survived
death.
something together.
Life or
We
death.
just
Say,
went
now we
through.
really finna. Give me
We
some more
locked in.
shots. 314 Day.
That's real. That's real.
I heard they had to like carry Diamond through the water or something. Was that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was it flooding back there? What was going
Yeah.
on?
Apparently in the back alley, it got real.
The sewage
Yeah.
systems.
Because you know everything kind of downtown is flowing like it's like a hill, and
Yeah.
back on that side of Jefferson, kind of where they are, it's sloping down.
Yep.
If you
Starting to
ever
go the
notice
other way,
it,
starting
like if
to
you're
slope
going
west.
down Washington Boulevard, like I guess technically, Wash Ave, because to the left of Jefferson, north of Jefferson is Washington Boulevard. Wash Ave starts right there. Learned something new, didn't you? You know that. Wash Ave starts right
your
there,
homework.
and it's sloped down. So that kind of makes sense because down where we was at, it was just water just rushing down. You know.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm glad everybody made it safe. Even Diamond, you know. Hood, one of the original Hood princesses.
Yeah,
Gotta
she
give it to
said she
Diamond.
can't wait to come back because she know what time it is, bro.
Yeah.
Because we fucked with them. That's something else too. People don't talk about is like the type of artists like Future and like Crime Mob. All these people who they was famous here before they was famous in real life and other on TV and
That's
shit.
real.
We've been supporting
Yes.
any ratchet activity that's ever happened. You know what I'm saying?
That's
This
real.
is the ratchet capital. Shout out to Sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like we have now proven that like y'all think y'all ratchet.
No, we do ratchet for
And
a
then it's
living.
St. Louis.
We like manufacturing. It's like Monsters Inc.
Like I said, our suburban kids ratchet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
real. That's
Other
real.
place you go, you been in the suburbs, might get shot and shit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's real.
It different.
So your 314 day celebration that you did, you had everybody go down to the arch, take a picture. What was that like? And like, why do you do that?
Yeah. So we've been doing the photo shoot at the Arch since 2019. And the thought around it was I want us to have a way to like commemorate ourselves and like celebrate us, but it's really about the future generation. Like I think about when we are gone and our future generations are here and they want to know like what did Black St. Louis look like, or what did St. Louis look like?
Yeah.
Who was who? I want them to be able to have like photos, pictures, videos, because I also want to combat the narrative that like St. Louis is just this like high crime ridden city and nobody cares and nobody is doing anything. And it's like, no, you have like visual representation that people are here, people are celebrating the city, we love the city, and we uplift the city. So since 2019, we had to stop because of the pandemic for a while, but we came back for specifically 314 Day a couple of years ago, and it has grown every year. And it's just a moment to like celebrate each other, to be in community with each other, to show each other pride before 314 Day even shows up. And then when the day actually comes, we have this dope video and photos to drop and like just look at us in community together, and like we here taking up space.
Yeah, that's fire.
That's real. Next year, front and center, man. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
in the
no,
house
that's
too much. I'm trying to get more outside this summer.
that's amazing because we got the opportunity to be a part of the Hip Hop 50th picture or whatever that Adrian took or whatever.
Yes.
So that when I saw your explanation for it of that reason, I was like, damn, that's actually super real. Like, I love to see pictures of St. Louis of any era that I wasn't alive. Like
we don't
any
document
picture,
who gonna do it.
Yeah.
Who's gonna tell our story?
Nobody,
You know?
cares for real, but us. We the
Yeah.
only niggas that care. So
at the end of the day,
do something about it.
that's
you
a
know?
real.
And it
That's
is
real.
good people. Like I said, the narrative is always like, oh, St. Louis niggas ain't shit. But the coolest niggas
You
per
ever
capita
meet.
is in St. Louis, bro.
Coolest niggas you'll ever
Literally.
meet
You
is
can
from St.
meet-
Louis.
Everybody right now think of that lame nigga in your class in high school. He could go to Kansas City, with all due respect, and be the tightest nigga. But you get what I'm saying? I was like, when we go other places, like niggas
Ain't
be like,
lying.
you come, he the ringleader. You go see a nigga in Iowa and be like, this nigga's the tightest nigga up here. It's like
This the
St. Louis
illest nigga
niggas
in Illinois?
We have that type of gravity. Like
Yes.
people like us,
Yes.
like you said. So
It is a St. Louis energy. Like St. Louis builds you up. We are protective of our city. We are vocal. We are so many things that, like you said, when we spread our wings, it just is naturally embedded in who we are. This is a traditionally protest city. This is a traditionally like fight back city. A traditionally like Black people don't play about our thing city.
Yeah.
And it shows up everywhere.
Yeah,
true.
that's real. So
You gotta be
congratulations.
cool to make it in St. Louis too. That's another thing. It's almost self-defense. If you
Yeah.
ain't a cool nigga, it's like you might not get grown.
You might get your ass whooped.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna be on VOTP.
It's not even. I can't even tell you the reason why.
You know what I'm saying? Why
Elementary-
you let them get up on you?
Elementary
you know?
school was rough. That was something I was thinking about before you
You
move
gotta be able to
on.
Fight a Joan, one or two. Or
If you
both.
on St. Louis, I don't know if they do this everywhere, but like a crazy ass scene will happen on you outside and somebody in a car accident. People check on your people.
Yeah.
Hey,
So people do that everywhere.
Hey, you all right? All right now. God bless you.
It just be like,
Keep
damn,
keeping
check,
it moving, though.
check
Ain't
on your
stopping.
people. Somebody did this. I be like,
Check
damn.
on your people heavy.
Hey.
No, don't worry. No, he hit me. Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, I was like,
Shit
damn.
crazy in St. Louis, bro.
But no
we
matter.
do gotta be more. I hate that it is like that though. When you grow up and it's like you don't know your neighbors no more and shit. You walking right past. You know what I'm saying? You just looking at niggas. Niggas ain't speak. I hate that. That's a pet peeve of mine too. We was talking about pet peeves earlier.
Yeah.
If you look me in my eyes, nigga, say something to me, nigga.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Say what's
Oh,
up.
I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you black. I be damn. You look me in my eyes, don't say something. Now I'm upset.
Yeah.
Now we finna have a nigga moment.
In St. Louis.
You know what I'm saying?
In St. Louis
it ain't nothing
especially.
to hit me with the
Yeah.
head nod. I ain't even saying you got to use your voice.
Yeah.
Maybe you ain't feeling
Yeah.
that today. You
We
know what I'm
gonna
saying?
acknowledge each other. That's something that like I did a few years ago as a challenge. Like whenever I walk past a Black person, we gonna acknowledge us because we live in a city that is so divided where they want to forget about us. So no, we gonna acknowledge each other. So if it's like a, hey girl, how's your day? We
Yeah.
gonna do that. Period.
Period, Pooh. We gotta smile, bro. Niggas be so.
Love on each other, uplift
Upset.
each other. Yeah.
But we gonna get into some deeper topics. You know,
314 days
all
deep.
these topics been
Oh,
kind of
man.
deep. Yeah, 314 is deep. But you know, we got a mayoral election coming up very soon. If you ain't registered to vote and you live in the city, you know, now's your time. here's your sign. You know what I'm saying? But do you feel like Mayor Jones believes she can win this race? And how would you grade her campaign this far?
Ooh.
Yeah, no, we questions. No, because it's been on my mind. Because I be looking at it like, what's going on? I'm voting for you, but damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so in this primary election, we saw Kara Spencer get the 68% approval voting, and Tashara, I think, got 34%. Mm-hmm. And one thing I would like to call out is that we had other black folks in the race. So we had Michael Butler and Andrew Jones. So we had a little bit of a split in there. You can approval voting. You can vote for all of the candidates. So I can't say like that just is the cause of it, but I think it is an eye-opening experience for Mayor Jones to see like community and the things that we've been saying over time. But with that, like I say, St. Louis is such a community-oriented city that I think that we have the opportunity to spread political education, get people out to vote, because less than 18% came out to vote in that election. So when we talk about 68% approval for Kara, we're talking about 68% of 18% of St. Louis.
Of like 500 people. It was like 5,000 people. It wasn't even 15. It was like 5,000 people, something like that. Yeah.
So when we have the responsibility now to tap on our friends, our family, our neighbors, and really talk about this mayoral candidate, because St. Louis is on the line. Like, and when we talk about what is on the line in this mayoral election, we are talking about people versus corporation. When we talk about Tashara versus Kara, and when you say, what do I grade? Honestly, I give it a C. I give it a C. I think they are trying to ramp up now, but I think that we should have been seeing a lot more conversation around what Tashara has been doing since before this. I think that her presence online should have been a little bit more light. We are seeing her like educate people now and like listen to people and things. And a lot of people had disdain towards her because of her presence on social media and things. And I think that vote in March showed her that people really are upset and that she has to take it serious if she wants to win in April.
Very well said.
Sorry, that was long.
No, that was perfect. That was not very long at all. Something that you said, I kind of just want to ask you a question about. Mm-hmm. You was like privatization versus maybe citizenship, mm-hmm. citizen-led government, mm-hmm. citizen-led operation, mm-hmm. approach. I'm split on that. Not split on Kara or Tashara per se, but split on the involvement that private companies should have in St. Louis. Though we were neighbors, we grew up in the city. And so the city that we once grew up in is kind of no longer a thing, I would say. We're seeing like with the struggling, we public school kids too. So went to public schools, we're seeing the schools go away. We're seeing now the Mayday struggle. We've seen it move neighborhoods, so that was an indication. Now downtown.
It's the first time black people haven't been majority of the population in our life, probably too.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's a whole bunch of factors into it. But it's like, I don't know what level of involvement the private should have and what level of what people have been saying, a lack of collaboration, Tashara should have been doing. Because it's like, I live downtown. I've seen the changes that she's made in the city as far as different approaches with the crime. I've seen downtown become more prosperous since COVID. You know what I mean? It could only have gone up, kind of, you know, to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't feel like she was doing anything to like hold that back. I do think that she has a disconnect with mm-hmm. the reality of our young people, mm-hmm. because I think that her not necessarily growing up with kids that went to Beaumont, it's like you don't really know what's going on. She has a seems like an intelligent young man. That's her son. Mm-hmm. He not like most kids in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know her. She
But
20
I'm just
years
saying
I
that to
see it,
say,
but she went to Afton.
you know,
They just put a swastika on Afton last week and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
but
like,
when I think
that could
about
be part of
how the
distance.
young people use downtown, her solutions for it seem a little out of touch for what they're actually really doing. It's like you don't really know what they're doing down there. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like that's what it feels like to me. But on the flip side, and I want to hear your criticism of Kara Spencer, you know, she does want to get involved with the privatization. She's willing to sell some of the community for what would be perceived as growth, I guess. Because that's what you're selling it for. You're selling it for this investment or this potential opportunity that may or may not come. That may or may not change the city in real life, you know? So I kind of just want to know, like, what's your stand on, like, privatization versus, I guess, not?
So I think when we talk specifically about, like, what's at stake between Tashara and Kara, what we are really talking about is, like, where would the RAM settlement money go? What neighborhoods would be invested in? And I do want to shout out to Shara for starting the Office of Violence Prevention. So right now in St. Louis, any murder is too much. Any homicide is too much. But the last time I checked, we were at 13. Historically, we would be at like 30 to 40 murders in St. Louis at this time. So the Office of Violence Prevention that she started actually connects resources, money, and funding to over 50 grassroots organizations to do work with youth, to do work in like high violent areas. They are trying to transform the police response to this 911 center where you call and you can get help for other things. So if you're having a mental health crisis, a cop won't show up, like a social worker or something like that will. Versus we have Kara who wants to pour more money into policing and pour more into pulling people over for having expired tags, pulling people over for like running lights. And we know that just I have expired tags.
I ain't gonna put it. See, I wasn't gonna put her on blast, but she definitely ain't get her vote off that shit a lot.
Literally, you're not gonna get me, girl. So when we are talking about these things, we are talking about holistic approaches versus those traditional like systems that attack our community. And the thing that comes with holistic approaches is you may not see the benefit of it as quickly. When we talk about doing the work in our community and investing in it, they've given millions of dollars to the North Side to build up businesses, to paint streets and all of those things. But unfortunately, St. Louis City is such old government that you have to take this entire process. It takes about 800 days from when I sign a contract with you to you actually seeing people in the street doing the work. And that comes in the charter commission and all of these other things. So the first set of Tashara's term has been kind of set on streamlining processes. So one of the things that she talks about earlier, and I also just want to give a caveat, I have called Tashara out many a time. So this is with the same criticism that I hold of her, but I know I can hold her more accountable than I can Kara Spencer. But one of the things that she said is like at the Office of Personnel, they were still using typewriters.
Yeah, my aunt works downtown, and she talks about that system that they still use down there.
We can't
it
get
is
MacBooks.
antiquated.
Yeah.
They basically using paper still for all practical purposes. You know?
So it used to take people 9 months to get a call back on a job because they had to fill out applications, type it up, do it all of that in a little system. And now they have streamlined that process where it takes 30 days. And in some departments, you can get a call back in 24 to 48 hours. So I think a lot of the work that Tashara has done is not going to see like actualization in a way for community because it's starting over processes, like updating, modernizing processes. And now if you give her a second term, we're able to spend the Rams money. We're able to see what she did with the ARPA money. We're able to see more investment. And I think also with the way that the polls came out in this election, she knows that community is going to be her saving grace. So I think we have more of a say-so with her than we would a Kara Spencer, who is more tied to major corporations that want to do things like put cement plants in North St. Louis, which we know will pollute our Black communities further, and wants to specifically focus on downtown for most of this money, meaning that our communities get left out again.
Well, you kind of segued into something we was talking about. Like, believe the question was like, how do you feel like black residents will be impacted by this election? One of my criticisms for her, it's a soft criticism, but I feel like though I love that she's being black, I feel like as a politician, she's been too grandiose in terms of, or too ambitious in that realm of stuff when it's like nobody really fuck with black people for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, just like I want to know what you think are the drawbacks of or whatever the situation is.
So one of the things that I try to keep in mind and keep space for when it comes to Tashara is like, I know what it is to like try to lead as a black woman in a city that does not love black women. You get a lot of critiques, you get a lot of criticisms that other people don't have to face. So it puts your back against the wall in ways where you feel like you want to defend yourself or fight, for your name and things. And then because of the trope that black women have, when we do show up that way, then we get the angry black woman
Emotional
stereotype, yes, where we can't even really defend ourselves. And again, I have seen Tashara handle things 100% wrong. So I'm not saying that she is perfect in everything, but I do leave space for the reality of, I'm sure it is very hard to govern a city that is going against you specifically because you are a black woman.
Thanks. Yeah, they do feel like the writing is on the wall where it's like we could very well not see another black mayor until our kids grown and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that. I think
because
that
of the population shift, the thing you talking about with the killing, like the numbers going down, like how much is that is because of the population shift. People getting killed now just in different places.
Right.
It's been 30-something probably murders.
Right.
They just now are going into North County, whereas when we was kids, they was all happening on the north side when it was more populated. So it's just, I don't know, it's so many different factors, bro.
Yeah, I guess for me it's like as that is the I guess the chicken's coming home to roost for a lot of people's negative attitude towards the city. Like when we were coming up, it was like, oh, keep them out of the city. You never want. I would never send my kids to the city. You know what I'm saying?
Move to Hazelwood, where's heaven?
And then it's just like, and now all that it has reversed. And so for me, I've never really been connected to St. Louis County politics. So not to say I don't care, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I only care about the city politics personally. So to your point, how do we keep that up? How do we keep up the low crime? How do we keep up certain stuff? You know what I mean? And to me, I feel like she is split, or the city is split on people who care about investment on the north side and people who don't care about investments on the north side. And it's a large group of people who don't care about the investments on the north side because they feel like, oh, well, you invest on the north side. That's why my street is not clean when the snow come. Or you investing on the north side. Yeah.
And that's why she got so much. That's why they like making the push of demonize on the Trump Kamala type situation now where it's like they demonizing her because she was too hard on the black shit. So it's easy to play that trope up. All she care about is the north side.
Especially coming after the loss of the Senate for Cori Bush.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of were roles together. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a coincidence that we're watching the fall of, And
then it is some truth
in
to,
numbers.
I'm from the north side. Obviously, I would want to see the north side be prominent. But realistically, that's not what's going on either. And people having some objective pushback that is fair. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it is fair. And I think that it's going to be a really good race. The election is April 8th. Mm-hmm. April 8th. So people can still register, right? If you're in the city?
No.
It's over, right? Registration's over.
Ended, I think, March 13th.
Okay, before the
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, watch the news.
But I mean, if you're not registered, still get registered.
Get registered because we got more elections coming.
Yep.
Yeah, Tashara versus Bob Clark. I mean, my bad. Kara
talk
Spencer.
about it.
Kara Spencer, Bob Clark.
We want you to talk about it. Really do it. Like, is the criticism he getting? Is
Bob Clark Elon Musk of St. Louis?
Is he the Democrat? Devil or?
He absolutely is. So Bob Clark wants St. Louis to look like the way Bob Clark wants to, and that is by not investing in Black communities and actually putting things that like will pollute our communities, the businesses, the plants, and all of those things in North City, while investing in downtown and South City to grow and flourish those areas. That's his plan. That's been his plan. And his actual personal vindictive against Tashara is because his bid got denied with the plant that he tried to put in under her administration.
And Mark
That's
Twain.
the one that was in Mark Twain, not too far from my hood.
Right.
That's on Shreve. That's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, he claims. Now this
That
is
he
what
didn't do it,
this is what you said, Bob. Bob claims he wasn't gonna put a cement plant there.
Mm-hmm.
He was gonna put some retail there. Now, haven't been a nigga that's been over there. I don't know how much retail
What's crazy
is gonna be going on.
That doesn't
in
even
the-
make
Everybody,
sense.
y'all ready to play a game? Name a restaurant we can go sit down and eat at north of Del Mar. Go in the city limits.
That's not a chain. That's the only chain. That's the only thing I
Yeah,
can think of.
it's just chains.
Just chains. Like you go
White
McDonald's,
Castle.
yeah,
White Castle.
yeah, McDonald's, White
So
Castle.
Maybe it
it's
was-
literally no business at all. It's no stores. It's
Yep.
Family Dollar. You know what
It's a
I'm saying? Maybe
Schnucks, I
Yeah.
guess.
it's a couple gas stations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our Arabic brothers, you know what I'm saying, for eating off us. We
Shout out
appreciate
to
it. We need
Salamas.
it. We still need it, you know. But it ain't really nothing over there. So
No. Yeah, and I guess that's something that like I struggle with. So coming back to St. Louis, like you said, growing up in St. Louis, I lived on the north side. I moved back to St. Louis. Now I live in downtown West. So I'm trying to see what the hell they gonna do with that. You know what I mean?
yeah, we counting on y'all.
Counting on y'all.
Property value.
But it's like I don't know what to do because it's like my parents, my grandparents, they from the city. They grew up, you know what I'm saying, kind of west, I guess, what people consider in the city. But it's like, yeah, all their friends, everybody else, they don't live in the city. You know what I mean? Like, you one of the few people that moved from St. Louis County to St. Louis City, but that's not most people.
Yeah.
It's in the reverse.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I sometimes feel like, yeah, the people who say they like care about the north side that's Black in the city, if you don't really live there, you don't care. Because that is the only way to stake the claim. It's an investment. It's like, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
And so you have people like I DJ'd the Trap Run or whatever that goes through. Shout out to Trap Run. That's a great organization.
My
Yeah.
folks.
Proud of
Shout
them.
out to
Yeah,
Rick
shout out to them.
And the guys.
I'm on like I can't even remember what street I'm on, but it's like the grass is super high over here. I'm watching them cut the grass. They driving through the lots, driving through like even the city employees are not. They would not do that. We on the south side right
wouldn't dare
now.
do that, yeah.
They would not do that in Benton Park.
Doing there.
I be in Benton Park. They would not do that. You know what I'm saying? But Neville, because it's not people and only this 80-year-old lady over here who, I mean, she just came to tell me her voting business, you know. But she's not even really engaged. She's just like, what's the point? Like, people have lost the faith in it.
They demoralized.
They demoralized by it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's tough to really galvanize, I feel like, these people that like don't care.
And you talk about, and it's something, you know, I get it because we were just talking about community earlier. But the Black community thing is just like, that's why. We're not really a community. We're not functioning as a community. We're functioning as a displaced, fucked over group of people that's still suffering from slavery and crack. You know what I'm saying? I like to go more recent now with crack. I'm tired of slavery. But we dealing with that live time. And that's the reason why we can't really get on people's ass and do the shit we need to do to make sure and hold people accountable, because nobody's going to be held accountable. You even go to SLPS and all of that stuff. It's like, how can they get over and do all of these things? Because who going to do something about it? Mama tired. She been at work all day. Daddy locked up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these households, like we talked about the Mark Twain neighborhood yesterday. Let's say it's 20,000 parcels to live in Mark Twain. How many of them have a head of household that's a Black man? It's a lot of people. It's a lot of women raising these kids. That's why they downtown, because she at work doing whatever the fuck. Not on the north side at work, even. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, too.
She got to go all the way to West County, Fenton, or wherever the fuck she got to go to work for somebody. And it's just, that's the issue. We don't have no community. We have pieces of community, like maybe in sports, so people get together.
Or you got, like
we
you
go
said,
out and do some shit.
certain people are age pockets, like the people who still do their neighborhood meetings. people that show up.
Block
it's like,
units and
but
shit
it's
like
only
that.
like to
but
that
that
point.
Shit dead in comparison to what it was. Block parties and block units used to be crazy in the
Yeah.
90s, nigga.
Yeah.
Grandma and them
Because
out
the
there
2000s.
cooking.
2000s. You know what I'm
like I
saying?
said,
Like
when you was mono at a block party somewhere, and it was still the hood. It was still crackheads. It was still all the shit that was going on. But now it's just like it's no semblance of that because there's no schools. It's it's nothing. Everybody went to high school on the north side. Ain't no. It's only one. It's the V.
Yeah.
And they a small school.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just crazy. I just don't like that term being overused.
I think one of the things that both of y'all are calling out is like community involvement, and then what does the work look like to get community involved again? Because I think one of the biggest things that Kara has been using for her campaign is she is stuck on snow and trash and potholes. And while those are things that matter in a functioning city, absolutely, those are not the biggest drawbacks when we talk about what's going on in North St. Louis and what is needed in investment for that. So it would take us being able to come together as a community to talk about the issues that we really care about. And we have to not be hung up on snow, trash, and potholes.
No, I got a question for you. Okay, so I'm going to play the flip side of this, right?
Come on.
We in a different world. Look, the three of us, we're not driving up the crime rate. You know what I'm saying? We're actually good citizens.
I'm helping people stay out the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're doing what we can. I mean, maybe we just need to let that go. You know, maybe all we do need to care about is picking up the trash. Maybe we need to just stop going north of Delmar. Ain't nothing over there anyway. Let you tell it. I don't know if your mom still live in Jennings. Or
Name the South Side neighborhood where black people live.
I guess some hood little parts in Chippewa. You go down Grand and some other parts.
Right, little pockets. We don't. That's what I'm saying. But we know where the Mexicans be. It ain't even that many of them niggas.
I'm saying.
But we know exactly where they fucking at.
I'm saying you don't have to worry about that anymore.
And I love y'all. My niece is Mexican. I don't want y'all to be mad. You know what I'm saying? All my nieces and nephews from Texas and shit. So it's all good.
Yeah, shout out to Trip, man.
Spanish,
shout out to Mayoral and Trip, man. They on the north side.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
On Shreve.
On Shreve.
It's his birthday too. It's KJ's birthday.
Shout out to
Happy
KJ,
birthday,
man.
bro. I love you.
Stand up black man in the city.
Yeah, from my hood.
But my point is, I'm saying it's like, yeah, we could all be up in arms. We're so upset. But to her point, if you don't go, like you said, what? Jefferson, maybe you don't really go past that. You go downtown west. That's about as far as you're going. Only things you are worried about is that maybe somebody might break into your car.
Yeah,
but that's gonna happen everywhere in this city, any city you live in America. Somebody might break your car once or twice. Somebody might do X, Y, Z. They don't have those other issues. Those issues that we're talking about are issues that we only experience. But that's what I'm saying. For most of us, we're not the ones inflicting these issues, right? Like we said, we do worry about over-policing because we just care about younger black children not being profiled and stuff like that. But some of these motherfuckers really do need to be locked up. And it's like they're messing up the city, not on purpose. It's the system that's been in place. They can't go to school nowhere. They can't eat nowhere. Like, I get why they're crazy, but it's like, what's the line between, like, in a city, you trying to grow it functionally? Because Bob Clark, one of the things he talked about was redoing the convention center, right? And I understand Tashara because downtown St. Louis makes the most money in the St. Louis, in the region. You know what I'm saying? Period. If you took away outside, if it wasn't the airport,
no Cardinals Blues,
it wouldn't be shit going on for real people making money. If the airport, downtown, right? So it's like, okay, you don't want to stop the volleyball tournaments for 2 years. We want to see Beyonce. I'm going to see Kendrick. So you wanted that to happen. That's why you keep it. But what are the things that we leaving on the table by having this 40-year-old stadium down there?
We do.
Because I'm seeing the growth I've been to St. Louis Park with the new soccer stadium. You know what I'm saying? I didn't got some money at St. Louis Park because they built it new. That's the only reason I got some money from them, because they built it new. They need some DJs up there. They called me. Boom. I got some money off that. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Shameless plug.
Shout out to the city, you know, but I'm kind of in between on that. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. We have an opportunity right now where we see money coming into St. Louis where we can spread it in different areas, because when we talk about how to not be in survival mode, what we are saying is like giving more opportunities. So we need people to do and not but and. So I need you to invest in North St. Louis and downtown and West Side and all of these other places that have not been invested in, to give us more opportunity to grow, more opportunities to have businesses. So with Tashara, because the other thing is I have been to 4 mayoral candidate forums. I have listened to 2 podcasts, and I have watched multiple live debates for the both of them. When we talk about who has the plans, I was at a mayoral forum with Kara Spencer and Tashara, and when Black residents asked Kara Spencer, what are you going to do for Black St. Louis? Her answer was, you're not going to believe me if I told you my plans, and you have to be collaborative even if I did. So what are the plans? She does not even have plans for us, versus you have Tashara, who is talking about building 50,000 homes by the end of 2029. That'll be half affordable and half market price. We're talking about pouring into North St. Louis with SLDC. And I know people have their drawbacks with that, but they are winning some big bids right now and putting businesses into North St. Louis. So we're talking about people doing the actual work. And the thing is, Kara can criticize for a job role she's never held, because she can't get any criticism because she's never held the job role. So I just think when we talk about things as a community, we can't get caught up on those catchphrases, because the time is now. If we want St. Louis to look different, if we want St. Louis to thrive for Black communities, then we have to be involved, and we have to see past the talking points, and we have to also be invested too. Like, this is our city, and it's hard when you have not been invested in. North St. Louis has not been invested in over 70 years.
Since the 60s, right?
Yeah. So when I understand the frustration. I understand like not wanting to deal with it. I understand all of those things, but that is exactly what the white supremacist, white power status wants from us. They want us to give up so they can do whatever they want to with this city while they leave us or push us out, because they're going to want North St. Louis soon. Real soon, with everything that they're trying to build up with downtown, the stadium, all of those things, they're going to want those properties soon. And we got to fight back. And that's just traditionally like where I come from, and like the activism roots. I get empowered with knowing that we do have power and not giving up and having hope. And that's the part that I want to play right now. I'm not this political analyst. I'm not somebody that grew up in politics. I'm just trying to do the best that I can to understand what's going on so I can educate my community so that we feel more empowered in knowing who does what, so we can hold people accountable.
That's peace. Something you said that I can't go no further without addressing, because now we just everything on the table now. The elephant in the room is white people. You went to Jennings. Jennings a slave owner. All the streets is kids. You know what I'm saying? Mm. We are from the last place to let go of slavery, from a lot of people say. You know what I'm saying? I feel that y'all can fact check that. And that is what, I work at SLPS. DESE is a system for all Missouri educators. I went in the database, did the research. Every failing district is predominantly Black.
Yes.
There is not one county, one district that is predominantly white that can't read proficiently. That's our issue. You talk about all these businesses, you talk about all this, how our little niggas gonna work there? They can't read. 3rd grade, we not getting past it. 7th, 8th grade, people not reading on 3rd grade level. The childhood literacy is the real issue, and it goes back to slavery, because what could we not do? And it's still happening, and it's only happening to niggas in the country, nobody else.
Yeah.
But we can keep it in Missouri. Every district you name in Missouri, if it's predominantly Jennings, predominantly Black, can't read. Hazelwood, predominantly Black, can't read. Now that's a good example, because 30 years ago, everybody could fucking read. Same district, same money, same allocations, same houses, same. You see what I'm saying? And that's the real elephant in the room. That's why we're underclass, because we can't even participate and learn how to be people. You know what I'm saying? So now you got all these people out here that can't critically think. They high shooting at each other and shit. You know what I'm saying?
And
that's our problem in our town.
And that's
real.
a big difference I felt living in Chicago. It was like CPS, the Chicago Public Schools, were so prominent, it felt like, in politics. Like, even with the mayor, like Mayor Lightfoot. Shout out to Mayor Lightfoot. Tashara might have to call Lightfoot to get some get some advice.
Come back with the fro.
Yeah,
you know
talk about the fro, the big ass suits. It's like, shout out to Lori, man. Shout out to Lori, man. She used to be at the liquor store. I used to see it, but CPS was such a big part of the city and its happening. And to your point, because people have forced to make that connection of like, damn, yeah, when these little dudes can't read, they gonna knock me in the head. Because the city moves different to where it's like, no, I'm gonna be downtown, I'm gonna be somewhere I'm trying to chill, and they're not equipped to participate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not equipped to participate.
I don't want to deal with the problem y'all created.
And that extends to, then you have to have a conversation about public transit, because you can go to any school in the city. So how am I get from the north side to the south side to the north side to go to the good school, right? So you had to bring up that. You had to bring up all these different things that are tied. You brought up the charter. Like, for a lot of people that don't know, St. Louis still uses like a charter that's like some like 1800 shit, basically.
From the Lewis and Clark
We
expedition
just added a Department of Transportation, which is still gonna take until 2029 to get like going. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're so behind as a city,
Yes.
which is kind of Missouri, St. Louis. Like, that's kind of somewhat to be expected. But to your point, as we move forward into the 21st century, what part of our history now, it looks like, is going to be lost? Are we going to look up in 30 years in the same way that they lost Mill Creek? Mill Creek don't exist no more. That's what the Ville going to be.
The Ville, Kinlock. We could keep going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's going to be too hard to, if Mr. NFL Jaguars come and say, yeah, let me build a big ass stadium on the north side. It's going to be too hard to be like, no, they're going to do it.
And it makes sense. And it's we tough, like we talk about being the black people who can live in the city and potentially have a family and raise kids here, whereas like most black people that we grew up with are not going to have that opportunity. And it's like, I'm getting rich off racism right now too, as we speak. Because I'm able to buy the houses. Shout out to Brock, my new neighbor. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's certain people that could see the opportunity and we could profit off of that. But for everybody else, they going to be locked in the North County. And it's going to be like the reverse when we grew up. It used to be they waiting on your ass to come to the county to pull your ass over. In 10 years, they're going to be waiting on your ass to come into the city to pull your ass over. Mm-hmm. And only in the North County.
Right.
Not out in Imperial and South County and Lindbergh, all that shit. That's cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I blame the white people, because the city only fucked up because y'all won't fuck with us. To your point, we live in Chicago. I could go have a drink with some white people.
Yeah.
Beyond the street where it's just, very liberal and
right.
But anywhere in town, I could meet some white people and they just have some J's on and be regular and shit and come dance and shit.
Or to your point, you don't have to go downtown or to the Gold Coast. I'm just on 32nd. It's a little white neighborhood.
Wherever you at.
I'm finna go get a sandwich up here and they gonna, what's up? Get a sandwich. They
Chicagoans.
And they move on.
And it's racism.
St. Louis not like that. St. Louis not like that.
We too separated. And it's like, if you, SLPS gonna be bad if y'all only gonna send y'all kids to McKinley and Metro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? White people be moving, y'all moving in code, doing shit, using the city in y'all own way for y'all self, instead of the city just being nice so we could all use this motherfucker.
Because they don't even understand how that chokehold that they put on us since the 60s, how it actually ruins the experience that they want to have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should want to have a big, thriving black high school that do X, Y, Z, because to your point, it does nothing but shine positivity back on the schools.
Yeah, so now
you already got your situation. You're already who you are.
Man, y'all white. Y'all won. Y'all have unimpeachable power. Y'all have a monopoly on death. You know what I'm saying? We get it, but just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Just let us, at this point, it is what it is. Y'all 200 years ahead of us.
Yeah, I feel like on a local level.
Y'all 80 years ahead of the Hispanic people.
I understand what Trump and them are doing from a global standpoint and the imperialism that they're doing. But to your point, on a local
we already
level,
American. Let us live, bro.
on a local level, it's like if you're in the St. Louis area, it's like, bro, you should want downtown to be certain levels. You should want the certain areas to just not be the worst places that they could be. That's all I'm saying. Let's have a little competitive spirit. We got the worst public education in the states in Missouri. Let's have some competitive spirit. Can we be 30?
Because, like you said, because
if
all
we
white
was
people
30,
don't use the city.
If we was 30, we
Where
would
all
be
the white private schools at?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not using the city. They play the city to go to the Cardinal game, do certain shit, this, that, and the third. But y'all not really being.
Or to your point, like you said, if you're not sending your kids to McKinley or Metro, just off the humbug, you just
you gonna
private
go
school.
South County,
you're just in a private school
or South County.
Yeah.
And my thing is, why South County Tech putting out people and North County Tech ain't? Why we, like you said, well, where's the equity in this shit?
Right.
Where the equity? And until we get that, it's gonna always be fuck you and your kid. They taking that motherfucker. It's hard for black people to feel bad for y'all for that reason, because y'all know we suffering.
Yeah.
If you from St. Louis and you white, you done seen some niggas suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think
do better, y'all.
I think it was Tupac that said something like, yeah, we don't want to live next to the criminals either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why y'all think we want to live there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody wants a chance to thrive, and that's really what it comes down to. And I just want to point out one thing, because I think one of the things that we are leaving out when we talk about, like, we don't have to lose North St. Louis. We don't have to lose West St. Louis. Like, we have such a dog in the fight in today's St. Louis. We have powerful organizations like Action St. Louis, like We Power, that are doing work to make sure, like, hey, you want to come in this community, like, this is the equity that you got to invest in it. We have this lucky stance with St. Louis that we are a, like, big town, small city. So we have access to our government officials. I can see Tashara out. I can see the older people out. We can be outside with them. We can hold them accountable. A lot of these bigger cities don't have it. You don't see your elected officials ever. Yeah. Corey, you saw her all the time. So I think we have a lot more power than we want to sometimes give ourselves. And again, it's being invested in the organizations that's doing the work. I think St. Louis is such a powerful city because it's an organization for everything. No matter what you care about, if it's housing issues, education, LGBTQ, Black, whatever it is, it's organizations that's doing work around that. And it's just time for us to tap in. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to do it on your own. You just got to lock in and just get invested so that these things do not happen. But we do have a real fight. Like, we really can stop where they're trying to take St. Louis.
I love that. I want to ask you about For the Culture. So, For the Culture, me and Tana always had this.
I like this question. I like that record.
We always talk about this idea of just like Black America, just being able to just live in a Black America. And when I saw what you did for the Culture, I felt like I was like, this is exactly what we've been looking for. This is exactly how we've been trying to like tap into stuff. So kind of tell people what it is For the Culture and how did you come up with it? Like,
yeah. So ForTheCultureSTL is actually about to turn 7 on April 1st.
Okay.
So I kind of spoke to this a little bit earlier, but my background is in activism. I was one of those people where the murder of Mike Brown Jr. changed my life. I grew up in Jennings, so West Florissant,
you already know.
Canfield, right around.
I bought a lot of switches at that Quick Trip.
Yeah,
man.
I know exactly what you're
that Quick Trip was my Quick Trip.
That Quick Trip.
Fried at that motherfucker.
So, my professional background is media. So I went to school for journalism, video production. So at that time, I was more so out there as a citizen journalist. I got arrested, went to jail for not that long. I was just in jail for like 18 hours, but it showed me what this system was.
18 hours too long. Don't downplay that.
I'd have been in jail.
1 hour in jail is too long.
10
minutes in jail.
You do not want that red juice or that
bologna.
bologna
At this point, it's been like I done been locked up like 7-8 times because of protesting. But
J-Town shit, nigga. Shout out to MVP. Real Jennings motherfuckers in
Literally
this bitch.
Shout out to MVP, man.
You gotta get that nigga on the show.
So at that time, I was like citizen journalist, activist, watching people like do like street protest and like really work fighting against militarized police and like just seeing our power and how we can fight back. So fast forward to 2017, we had this next protest season because Officer Jason Stockley killed Anthony Lamar Smith back in 2011, and they were trying to indict him. We knew that he was not going to be indicted because they had already portrayed Anthony Lamar Smith as this drug dealing black boy that was like running from the cops. He deserved to die. So we decided to do a heavy economic boycott in St. Louis City. So in like 90 days, we cost the city $17 million. And we made political people come to the table. We made them like listen to us. They are still paying out lawsuits to this day from those protests. But at that time when things started to slow down, and I was watching like some of my comrades go into these other spaces, going into legislation, starting their own organizations, going into politics, I was just like, what is my area? What is the thing that I love? And I've always loved to tell the story of like Black St. Louis. I always thought that we had incredible businesses. We have incredible events. And I was like, what about if we had a space where we could just go and see all of those things? So we launched on April 1st, 2018, ForTheCultureSTL.com, which started as a directory of Black-owned businesses in St. Louis. And then we had an event calendar. So any event that was safe for Black people to go to or by Black people, you can go to this place and combat that narrative that we don't have things, because it's all right here.
What's it called? The green book, the blue book? You keeping that spirit alive.
So we just tried to like modernize it, digitalize it, like put it online, make it accessible for people, and it took off. In the first 3 months, we had been used by I think like 40 out of 50 states. We had been seen in like 4 continents, and like multiple countries. So it told me that like this is a necessity. One, that people care about like the things that Black people are doing, and also like people are watching St. Louis. Like we have always been leaders when it comes to like issues worldwide. And quickly after that, we grew into like this ecosystem of just protecting, uplifting, supporting Black folks, our businesses, and all of our things unapologetically. Everything that we do is specifically for the Black community, and you will never hear us try to invite anybody else, because this space is for us and we deserve equity in spaces. So now we focus on things like mental health resources, community engagement, just getting us together. We try to have events like the Culture Kickback. We do it in August. We do it the Sunday after August 9th, the day that Mike Brown was murdered, as a way to like reclaim our space in St. Louis and reclaim joy. And then we focus on equity in business. So we do campaigns on social media like Black History Month. We do 28 Days of Black Owned St. Louis, where we go to different Black owned businesses and promote them for free.
I love that. That was dope.
Thank
that
you.
was dope. Yeah.
So that's how For the Culture was born, and that's what it's just transformed into. And we're just trying to continue to make space for visibility. We were doing it before the 2020 trend, where corporations wanted to pretend with all this DEI, and now we're seeing that roll back. And why it's important to have organizations that do this work, because they will change policy on us all the time, but we have to have things that are going to protect us anyway.
What the Black girls do now? I don't got no nails. But I will say, there is no try.
You doing it.
Just even saying try, that's bullshit. We striving. You know what I'm saying? I need you to get your lexicon up.
Come on.
May the force be with you,
yes.
young
Yes.
Ohun. You are a Jedi in St. Louis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
You must live with the force. No, that's amazing, because it's like during that time in particular, like Mike Brown, I would say for all of us who were here, we were all affected in different ways.
Yep.
And like you said, whether you were actually living in that community, you went past that community, like to see our city in that state. Mm-hmm. Like I remember me and Tanel went down there, and remember that nigga J. Cole had got locked up, or the police had surrounded his shit or whatever?
Was that the Wendy's?
The Burger King or whatever up there on West Florissant. And it's just like
Jermaine.
to see the whole world, you know,
That changed his career.
That literally changed his whole
The
career.
rest of his career been sad.
His whole career been sad since
My daddy black.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like, you know, to hear that you were able to born something of those ashes, literally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is amazing. Like you said, it's just another example of like what is possible here, what can be done, and. You know, to be honest, a lot of my criticisms are just like asking questions that way is because I think that we do need a new way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We take on the responsibility of being like the leaders of what's going on and trying to connect with other like-minded people, using in collaboration with each other and support of each other.
Shout out to Bax, man. I don't hate mixed people. I just want you to know that. I love all my brothers, man. I just know I know I'll be cracking jokes and shit. I just want to make sure. Yeah, you know. Shout out to everybody, man. Inclusion.
DEI.
DEI. That's the best DEI. But no, man, I love what you've been doing for the culture. Whoa,
no, that's sketchy.
DEI. I said DEI. Right. But no, for the culture, that shit is like amazing.
Thank you.
So like that's how I first became aware of you and like everything that you've been doing. So I really appreciate you, you know, tapping in with us, tackling the real issues,
man. These streets.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike Brown, man.
So before we get out of here, this is random. This is off the top. You know, are you? I was teasing you earlier about you being a Scorpio.
Oh yeah.
Because I made a Drake joke, but we were talking before you got in here, so I want to know your opinion. You know.
Okay. Studio talk.
We in the lab. Just in case you didn't know, you talking to two of the best rappers ever in St. Louis history. I don't know if you knew. But it's the truth.
Come on, put me on.
I can back it up.
Topsoil. You know what I'm saying?
I can back it up. I got receipts for that actually. What do you think is next for Drake? Because, you know, let them tell it. Let them tell it. You his demographic. He didn't give up on us. You know.
Well.
He didn't give up on us. You know, the American niggas.
She too real, man. She can't.
So I ain't gonna hold you. I was a Drake fan. I was a Degrassi.
Are you talking to
Aubrey Graham fan?
Everybody done watch some episodes.
You know,
watched it down.
Whatever it
saw
takes.
him transition into his lover boy era music career. Super fan.
Just another lost nigga.
Okay.
And he has failed miserably and is disappointed. And I think it's just time for him to just wrap it up. Take the L.
Wrap it up.
Should he go to acting? Bro said he should just start taking acting hella seriously and just.
I just think he should disappear.
You just want to go to Canada and lay
just
down.
Go. Yeah.
Just go to Canada and lay down. That's
go
real.
watch basketball games.
Take a nap.
Go right.
Yeah.
That's what you should. Get Adonis to the league. That's your real get back.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he
you
make
mad at LeBron, cover your tats. You know
if you
what I'm saying?
make Adonis,
I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's the Scorpio. You know, he ain't even a Scorpio.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is. I thought he was October and shit.
October
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They a little different.
Gotcha. Okay. At the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very
November,
end.
got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he needs to get Adonis to the league, man.
Get Adonis to the league.
Get him on the Raptors.
Get him on the Raptors.
Like
send him to
you got
Kentucky,
leverage.
wherever he want to go. Tennessee. I know Houston.
No,
you know.
go to somewhere in the Quebec. Don't they got some? Where y'all colleges?
No, nobody want to hoop at no Canadian colleges.
Hooping there. Everybody go hoop in Canada.
You don't know no.
Y'all need to make a team.
Y'all don't know no niggas.
Put them in the ACC.
In Canadian college, that's going crazy.
Put them niggas in the big sky.
No.
Toronto University.
No.
Changing the game.
Yeah, he should just go be a father.
That's
I
real.
think
Damn.
that's his calling.
Can you do that if you're not a man? If you still a boy at 38, how? You know what I'm saying? Because that's something we all deal with. Our theory, we gonna let you know, because X equals black men in our community. Period.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
We're getting deep here. We're leaving off on the real signs right here.
Yeah, but this is the real form. X equals black men. No matter what issue a nigga got deep down somewhere, it stems from that foundation or lack thereof. And that's what we watching him. And you got to give empathy to our brother too, because Drake caught in a cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We feel bad for him more than anything.
It sucks because it's like your whole life you've been in Canada trying to learn how to be a nigga, and then you got good at it. You start acting. Then you became this nigga, and everybody
then,
like, bitch ass nigga, you being a nigga. You know what I'm
No,
saying? He
then
probably like, what the fuck?
he met a super saiyan nigga. Cause that nigga Kendrick, your parents
No,
from
he met a
Chicago.
real nigga.
Your parents from Chicago. This nigga grew up in. You can't write a better nigga story.
But that's the issue that Drake is having is that
Than him.
that dichotomy is like you didn't put water in your Fruity Pebbles and shit. Cause
Real.
your mama is something I can't say, but we. You
This
know what I'm saying? The only way you can be that's how you are that. And that was more so
Yeah.
your upbringing than it was being a crazy ass Memphis.
yeah, he probably
nigga.
never had no bomb pop.
You don't know the bump pop man.
Drake never had no
black
bomb pop.
experiences
I mean,
for
and maybe
real.
like I said, I don't know. He's with his cousins in Memphis. He put a lot on that the couple summers. I don't know what summers that was. But you know what I'm saying? But you
real.
wasn't like you wasn't with Pooh. You wasn't with Young
Pooh Shot-
Dolph in there.
Talking about Glorilla.
You know what I'm saying? You wasn't with
You were with Key Glock in them. You don't know Key Glock in them like that.
You was at your grandma's house like a motherfucker, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that's
You know
real.
what I'm saying? When the street lights came on,
You was in the
I
house.
know your ass was in the house. So you know, it's tough, bro.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough to watch him fall. I do have
It
empathy
is.
for him. We do joke on him, but for the people who coming up, just be true to yourself, bro.
Yeah.
The culture is not about having the most hoes. The culture is not about all this superficial shit that we see and what's devolved into what rap is now. You know what I'm saying? It's about getting the knowledge of yourself, elevating your station in life, and all that good
And
shit.
moving
bro.
forward. So,
We out of here.
Ohun,
Yeah, she
Ashe.
charged me up. I'm not doing enough for y'all. I got to be a better leader.
Tell a story.
you
Tell
know,
y'all stories.
like you said, you started off, go to yoga, apparently, if you're black.
Yeah,
Man.
go to yoga.
Go to yoga, eat a
'Cause,
salad,
hey, you need
drink
to
some
breathe,
water.
bro. It's stressful out here, bro. If,
What's the lion's breath when you gotta get
yeah,
some-
you got
get
you,
that
I ain't
oxygen
gonna I ain't
flowing?
gonna pull it all my bag out right
Don't
now.
do
you
that.
know
Say
what I'm
that.
saying?
Say that.
My dancer is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about poses. You know what I mean? But y'all don't know. See, that's why you don't tell niggas nothing. They want me to talk about yoga. I get to talk about the
I
science
know.
of yoga. Niggas.
No, this is what's called the education. That is the educational moment. That's when
Yeah.
you start teaching right there.
But yeah, do some yoga, drink some water, eat some salad sometimes.
Eat some salad.
Sometimes.
You
Some
can't just
vegetables.
fried chicken. You gonna
You
look
gotta
like
break
fried
it
chicken.
up. You gotta break it
I
up.
know y'all all got a person in your family look like fried chicken at this point in their life. They like
It's
70,
America.
they be drunk as hell.
It's
Drink
America.
some water.
That's not even a black joke. That's a real American joke. America is fat. But now we got Ozempic. So shout out to Ozempic. You know what I mean?
This goes left every single
Yeah,
time.
we
I
just
think
can't-
it goes right. It goes
We let her
left.
finish.
Tell us what's next.
Finest, man.
Tell
Shout out
us
to
what's
Juan. I know
next.
your friend now, bro.
Tell us what's next for you. Is anything you want to shout out before we get out of here? Anything?
Well, actually, we've been having this political conversation. So on April 5th, I don't know when this is going to drop, but on April 5th, we are having a Get Out to Vote birthday bash for the Culture STL. So we're going to be at Fairground Park. We're going to have free food, vendors. It's a skating rink, so you can come skating. It's going to be bouncy houses. And what we're going to do is you can early vote. So we will have buses out there that if people can't walk, Carpet and Library is right there. You can go vote, come back with your I voted sticker, get an incentive. We're not trying to push nobody on you, but we just want people to activate their vote. That'll be going on from 12 to 3 at Fairground Park. We would love to see you all out there. And for the future of For the Culture, it is just this continuance of education for our community, showing up for our community, uplifting our community, and whatever need is, we just want to fill the gap area. And that's all we're trying to do. So we'd love for y'all to tune in. You can follow For the Culture STL on everything. Everything. Brum, 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 brum.
We got real horns. You don't gotta do. We got real horns. We got a whole production going. We got you. You don't gotta do that. We got you. Just let me know. I got you.
Yeah, we paying bills around here.
You know?
What I mean?
All right.
I appreciate
For the
y'all.
Culture STL everywhere. One word. For the Culture STL.
All your socials and all that, we got you.
Oh yeah. Follow all that.
Follow her. She's smart.
Ohun Ashe. We Souls of Liberty. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.